The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
I'm your host, Jesse Ewing, and I am a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior. I'm just coming back from an event, which is called WarriorCon 3. Over 1,000 men at an event down in San Diego, California. And during this event, it was 5 days, and we began mapping out everything that we wanted to accomplish in 2019. And for a lot of people this time of year, they begin thinking about this. But one of the biggest issues that I see, and we're going to talk about this on my episode today, is this idea: are you building or are you burning? So today's topic is very simple. Are you building or are you burning? Like, just simply ask yourself this question. Are you building or are you burning? Are you building things up or are you burning things down? If you look at your life, one of the greatest problems that I see and hear men today have is they have no idea where they are. They have no idea whether they're building or burning inside of these 4 areas of life, which we talk about, these 4 core areas that represent and make up all of me, the totality of me, and they get lost in this chaos of results. Like, think about this for a minute. If you're a man and you have no idea what your business does, especially if you're a business owner, you have no idea what your gross, your net, your take-home revenue is. Like, what is the meaning of you going to business every day? What is the meaning of you going to work every day if you don't know real numbers? And I'm not just talking about businessman. I'm talking about any man that is getting a paycheck and collecting on this. Most men have no clue. And what I actually watched was in a room full of 1,000 men. I asked them we had watched them over and over get asked, how much money are they making? They had no idea what their gross, their net, their take home was. Or they put so much emphasis on their gross and they were so married to that they actually weren't even paying themselves anything. Now, one of the things I started to think about is, well, why would this happen? What is the real issue? And it's like asking a kid who's 16 or 17 who's playing football, and you ask him at the gym, hey, like, dude, what does everybody want to know? They want to know, how much do you bench? And the auto response is always hyped. It's always way higher than the actual truth or the facts. Most kids, you ask that, they're going to say some stupid answer like, oh, 275, 315. I can remember back in high school, I was actually a guy who could bench 315. But I can remember all the guys that didn't were the ones talking about doing it. All the guys that were talking about how much they could bench were the guys really not doing it. The guys that were actually doing it didn't have to talk about it. And it's crazy because life is very similar to this. So I would go to the gym with these guys that would tell me how much they could bench. And we would go to the gym and they may do 225 and do it once. The first thing they would do is make an excuse. Hey man, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad week, but I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, on my worst day, I would do 300. On my worst day, I would do 300. Even if I felt like shit, I would do 300. Now these guys are like cutting their weight in half or almost all the way down 100 pounds and you're having a bad day. No, the reality of it is you could never bench that in the beginning. You were just lying. And you weren't lying to me, you were lying to the man in the mirror or yourself and telling yourself a story that actually wasn't true. It's like most times we're telling the story of what we really wish was true instead of just being honest about where we're at. And the average man today has no clue on where they're at, whether it's in their bank account or their body. And let's face it, the scale will tell me where I'm at in my body. If I get my body fat taken, it'll tell me. If I go to the doctor, they'll tell me some markers and I'll be able to test and see where I actually am. But I still don't manage. And then if we talk about spirituality, relationships, marriage, there is no measurement system. So how can I improve if there's no measurement system, if I'm not willing to actually look at the facts? So the simple lesson inside of this is what gets measured gets managed. Now, we've all heard this term, so it's not like it's new. But imagine this. You start measuring your food and you begin to manage it at a whole new level. You begin to manage what you're actually putting in your mouth because you're becoming aware. And this awareness is preceding the change. Like the number one way to change is to become aware. Measure your weight. And all of a sudden, you start working out differently. You start training more. Measure your body fat. And you become aware of what's actually going on in your body. And you want to make a change once you come to awareness. Measure your bank account. And you actually start managing the facts of your money instead of managing feelings. And I think what happens to a lot of us, including myself at times, is we start managing feelings and it feels like you're in a pinball machine. And when I'm managing facts, I can actually stand in truth. So there's some crazy shit that happens when we actually get clear about the facts today. These facts actually set you up and set you on a whole new foundation of truth, the truth of where you can actually stand today. And this is your foundation of truth in that one area. Without it, you cannot build on it. Now think about a house. How do you build on a foundation that is built on lies? You just build more lies, and then all of a sudden they all come crashing down. Or I could begin to build on a foundation of truth. And no matter how bad or how good this truth is, I can begin to build from here because it's the truth. And I can begin to build up and up to new levels. The higher I can go because I have a foundation of truth, a foundation of lies, this house comes crashing down, or this foundation comes crashing down. So with this foundation, I can build whatever I want. So one of the key things I want you guys to get from this today is this. You cannot build anything in 2019 if you don't start with this foundation of truth inside of your body, your being, your balance, your business. You can break it down any way you want. If you want to break it down into fitness, nutrition, great. If you want to break it down into your bank account and your money, great. If you want to break this down inside of your marriage just on date nights, just to begin to measure where you're at, measure how often you're praying, you're meditating, just to become aware of where you are currently at in those areas. So I'm going to ask you this one question. What is one habit that you can begin to create today to be able to stand in this truth? So a lot of the things that we've talked about today is just beginning to simply write down a list of facts of where you currently stand inside of your body, your being, your balance, your business. Like where are you at with your weight? Where are you at with your body fat? Where are you at with your spirituality? Where are you at with your purpose? Where are you at with your relationship with your wife and your kids? And where are you at with your bank account in your current business? And as you begin to write this down, this awareness will change your perspective. It will give you a new lens to actually see, hey man, here's some really good things that are actually going on in my life. And here's some things I'd really like to change. But without being clear on this, you are stuck in your lies. You are stuck in a web of lies. And without this, there is no foundation. So one last thing today is this. You cannot build on a foundation of lies. You can only build from a foundation of truth. So try this out today and let me know what you think. I have a 3-part series on this. This is part 1 of 3. Next week, next episode, we're going to actually talk about building from the solid foundation of truth and beginning to get clear about what does the future actually look like for me a year from now, creating that vision going forward. This will be up on the next episode. So today, as we leave, if you like this episode or you feel like it resonated with you, please leave me a review, give me some feedback, anything you want to talk about, shoot me an email if you have any questions. And if you would like to learn more about the Habit-Based Lifestyle podcast, email me at jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com, or you can go on my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. You can find out more, and I would love for you to come back next week and actually listen to part 2. Until then, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse.